Now moving on to battle tendency, there is more to critique here than Phantom Blood since it is longer than the former part, and I will be a little bit more strict on the ranking a bit. I'm going to be putting this at an A, just because I feel like we should save the S tier for something more special, but if I was a little bit more lenient, of course I'd put it in the S tier. Now to start off with a bit of an overview, we follow the new characters in way of Joseph Joestar and Caesar Zeppeli, who descend from the last part's characters. And we do have some nice supporting cast here in the teacher of Lisa. Susie Q kind of plays a part later into the story. And then there's Stroheim, the Nazi cyborg. Yes, you heard me right.
Nazi cyborg.
Now, in my opinion, the best part of Battle Tendency is Joseph Joestar himself, who is the complete opposite of my last ranking where I thought Dio was the best part of Phantom Blood. A sort of Uno reverse card of sorts where the main character actually shines the most. Now, if Joseph had stats like an RPG character, he would have maxed out charisma and even intelligence, to a certain extent, more of an intelligence for battle. Caesar Zeppeli, I'd like to talk about him, but just for the sake of time, we'll put it this way. Very arrogant, short-tempered, kind of a dick at the start to Joseph, but over time, with a few fights together, with some confrontation, Caesar actually sees Joseph as a more honorable man, fighting for what he believes in, and starts to respect fighting alongside him, bonding with him like Will did with Jonathan. Now we get to the main villains here of this arc, which are the Pillar Men, which I'll describe as ancient super vampires who are trying to use the Stone of Aja to obtain immortality. I won't go too far into the plot with them, just because I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably have read the manga or watched the anime. Now, just to preface, I also don't think the Pillar Men are bad, but they do lack a certain charisma that Dio had by comparison. There are parts that are kind of written well, like Wamu wanting to be an honorable fighter by giving JoJo a chance to get stronger, or Car saving a dog because he respects animals and nature, etc. But obviously the real purpose of the Pillar Men were to set up multiple fights and have the characters grow over time, unless you're Caesar Zeppeli to a certain extent. Sorry, Caesar, to set up that final confrontation. Now, my one glaring issue with this part would obviously be the ending, with an ass pull like an insta-plane volcano hurling into space. I know Araki just had a hard time defeating the villain because he gained immortality, but that would be my biggest glaring issue overall with this part. But anyways, I'll leave Battle Tendency right there to A rank and move on.